And now, a dramatic reading of I Guess Even Love Has Its Problems by an unknown author. Flick's Revenge. I Guess Even Love Has Its Problems. The sun slowly crawled up the pale blue sky. The last star vanished with no trace. Flowers took their time opening, sending spurts of bright colors scattered across Hyrule Field. It was 10 years after Link's adventure in Termina. A sharp whinny filled the air. Link gently kicked Epona in the sides, holding loosely onto the reins. "That's great, Epona!" "Kay, how about a trot?" Tightening his grip and shortening the reins, Link grabbed the neckband and kicked Epona sharply. They raced through the trees, branches, and leaves, smacking Link's face. It made it difficult, but Link somehow managed to rise up and down with Epona. As he sped across a wooden bridge, sharp hooves clacking, Link vaguely saw a figure with a shock of green hair as they sped into a canter. Link stopped at the end and tied up Epona. Then he reached his destination, Kokiri Village. Soraya ran straight for him. Laughing, Link swung her high into the air, whirling her around. Then he tickled her in all her ticklish spots. Soraya flicked a green strand into Link's eye.
"Take that!"
"Oh, come here!" They spent all morning playing, and at 5 to 12, the Kokiri gathered around him, begging him to stay. Link laughed, patting a girl on the head. "Nah, sorry, kids. I'm having lunch with someone." They were immensely disappointed, but Link faithfully promised to visit soon, and they cheered up. Link pulled out the Ocarina of Time and played the Requiem of Spirit. "Link! Hi! You ride my ocarina, I see!" "Hey, Naburu!" Link smiled as he drew nearer her. "Hey, I got a table set up in that room there. I'll just be a mo putting starters on, Kay?" As she left, Link thought once more about how beautiful she was. So fiery, so independent. Link loved her so much. As she returned, Link desperately tried to not cry out, "I love you!" But he failed. The spirit temple was silent. The usual soft music hummed quietly in the background, and Naburu just stood and stared. Then Link dumbly held out his arms. Naburu giggled uneasily, like laughing at a joke made up by someone with a poor sense of humor. She walked towards him slowly, arms out. She looked a lot like Frankenstein, and that kind of worried Link, but his love for her was too great to be afraid. They dumbly hugged each other. Then Link gazed into her yellow eyes and touched her lips softly with his own. They finished all 3 courses in silence, but when Link arrived at Lon Lon Ranch to get some eggs, he leapt up with joy as he told Malon, "It was just so wonderful! She's like heck, she's as pretty as Zelda!" "Despite her nose," spat Malon acidly, who loved Link more than anything else. "Ah, her nose, the center of all her beauty!" "Yuck!" thought Malon, but to Link she said, "Really? You have an odd way of looking at things, Link." Malon fluttered her eyelashes at him, hoping to catch his attention of her beauty, but he was babbling on so much about his dear, sweet, gorgeous Naburu that she decided to ruin their relationship. But how? 5 months later, Naburu squeezed Raru's hand. Raru patted her gently on the shoulder. As he led her up the aisle, the Requiem of Spirit was being sung by the monks, who usually sang the Song of Time. Link stared at Naburu. She was wearing a pure white veil over her mouth, and her long red hair hung loose. She was wearing a scanty white top with a Triforce embroidered on the top. Her trousers were slightly different. They were a little slimmer, with a Triforce sewn onto the seat of them. She wore golden shoes instead, and her belt was a pure, huge ruby. She was wearing her usual white gloves and heavy jewelry. Link's mouth hung open. She looked amazing! Link looked pretty good too. White tunic and cap with gold silk hose and shirt. His belt was highly polished brown leather with a gold Triforce buckle. And lastly, his boots were bright red. Again, with the gold Triforce buckles. And his gauntlets were the golden gauntlets. Naboo smiled shyly. The wedding was wonderful. But Malon sat in her black mourning clothes, glaring all the way through. After the wedding, Naboo took Link to the Gerudo Fortress, his new home. They entered room 500, Naboo's flat. It had a bedroom, a kitchen/dining room, and a bathroom. Link nodded at all Naboo's stolen riches, though most of it was passed down through her family lines, and she had promised not to steal anymore.
Breakfast is served at 8 to 9 o'clock. If you miss it, there's a perfectly good kitchen here.
Link nodded and grinned, and they got into bed.
Link, I keep getting sick in the morning.
Link looked up from cooking lunch. What should we do, Nab?
Call the doctor! Quick, for goddess' sake!
Link nodded and sped out of the door, down the stairs, and rushed to the doctor's room. Rita, the doctor, looked up and smiled.
Yes, sir?
Rita! Oh, Rita, come quick! It's Nabby! Rita grinned from ear to ear.
Uh-huh. Kay, let's see our leader. I wonder.
Link had to wait outside while Rita inspected Naboo. It was agony! The waiting was, anyway. Rita's grin was even wider when she came out.
Link, your wife wants to give you the good news, I think.
Link entered, sweating slightly, heart pounding. He smiled shakily. Yes, love?
Link, how would you like to be a father?
A father? Yeah, I'd love to. Those sweet little Kokiri, they're so brill.
Well, congrats, Link, 'cause I'm pregnant.
Really? Wow, that's great, Nab. 9 months later. Rita! Rita! Naboo's water broke!
Really? Let's go!
Naboo went into labor about 4:30, and the baby came out 9:15 a.m. When it was finally over, Link gazed at his baby. She was just like a Gerudo, except for 3 things. 1, pointed ears. 2, blue eyes. And 3, Link's nose. What will we call her?
Salulu.
Malon now knew that she could never have Link, and Talon was bugging her to marry. Come on, Mal. I want you to be safe, hon. So I'm your father, and you gotta obey me. Tough. But eventually she married a young man named Tirong, and soon they had a son named Mirong. In time, Salulu and Mirong grew up. Salulu was 21, and Mirong was a year younger. One sunny day, Salulu was walking with her parents, who, like Malon, were in their early 40s and were still quite active. They met Mirong, and immediately the 2 young adults fell in love. Naboo winked at Link, and they left Salulu with Mirong.
See ya, Sally!
They called. He'll be a nice friend for you. Hi! Blushed Salulu. She wasn't that used to men outside her family, being a Gerudo. Hi, said Mirong. So, Princess of the Gerudos, eh?
Kinda.
I'm me wrong.
I.
Salulu?
Yeah.
Me wrong! Called a new sharp female voice. They turned around. There was Malon, hands on hips. Hi, Mom. Hi, this girl is
A no-good Gerudo.
Hi, she's part Hylian too.
Get to the ranch now! And you!
Malon turned to the startled Salulu.
Shoo! And if I see you near Mirong,
She left the rest unsaid. Mirong stared sadly at the night sky. Grounded! The moon and stars seemed to smile at him. Everything reminded him of Salulu, especially Salulu, standing below his window. Salulu! He looked down. There she was, beckoning him with a long, painted nail. He nodded and climbed down. When he reached her, they hugged. Sorry about my mum.
It's okay.
Still, I'm sorry.
You know, I've been kissed by Mum on the forehead by Mum, and on the cheek by Dad, but...
Same with my parents.
I've never...
Not my first. My first proper kiss. We could. Mirong looked at her. They pursed their lips. Slowly they pressed them together. They stood there together for a minute or two before breaking away.
Thanks, Mirong.
They joined hands and walked down to Lake Hylia. The night sky was reflected in the clear, glassy lake. Special night flowers, Zelda, started to open. The flowers were pink, blue, or purple. Zelda's favorite colors. Mirong picked a blue one and gave it to Salulu. Salulu smiled at him, staring at the starry night. Suddenly, a hand fell on her shoulders. Startled, Salulu looked up. There was Malon glowering at her. She shoved poor Salulu into the lake, snatching her Felda. She then grabbed Mirong and gave him a sound beating, both verbally and physically. Salulu thrashed wildly in the lake. She was about to give up when a strong man in a Zora tunic lifted her into his arms.
Dad!
Naburu worriedly wrapped a red blanket around her. Rita came running forward, saying something. Everything was so hazy. She's dead!
Link, don't worry. I'm a professional doctor. See? Listen to her breathing. Rita, she's right, Link.
Hey! You're worried too!
Oh, yeah?
Yeah!
Dad? Mum?
Salulu! She's safe. Oh, Link, she's safe. See? Fine. Goodbye.
Please don't argue!
Salulu was close to tears. Hey! Shush, darling! You're okay!
What happened?
Well... Link frowned as he listened. I knew it!
Knew what, Link?
Naburu! She hates us and our daughter! She's jealous of you!
Oh my.
Suddenly a fire arrow flew into the room. Salulu stared. The place was alight! Naburu! Get Sally out of here! The Chamber of Sages! I'll get the Gerudo kids out! The nursery maids will help me! And the Gerudos will stop the fire! Go! Naburu took Salulu to the Chamber of Sages. All the sages were there, Zelda on the Triforce symbol. Naburu! Malon's gone mad! Zelda said. Her love has become hatred, and she'll do anything to kill everyone who likes you and your family.
She's already killed Link, my son!
Sobbed Darunia. And my dad! Cried Ruto. Along with half of the Zoras! Me and some of the others only just escaped!
She said Kokiri Village Light.
Whimpered Soraya.
And Gerudo Fortress!
Said Salulu.
And part of Hyrule Castle Market Town.
Sighed Impa. And, began Zelda gravely, she opened the evil realm. The chamber was silent. Soraya whimpered.
Daddy'll have to kill Ganondorf again!
Well, it won't be easy.
Then I'll do it!
Everyone stared, astonished. Zelda smiled. In a dream, I saw you and Mirong sealing Malon and Ganondorf in the evil realm. I'll get Mirong and Link. When they appeared, Zelda explained. Are you sure?
Yes, Mirong!
Then I'll do it. Malon and Ganondorf were cackling, sending lightning bolts hurtling towards Lake Hylia. Hold him, Mum! Mirong?
We're here to stop you!
Said Salulu coldly.
Hey, Malon! Let's teach him a lesson, yeah?
K. Summon Koman Kotake! The witches appeared, circling around Salulu and Mirong's heads. The two gripped the air swords, thrashing the women and deflecting their attacks. They combined.
Excellent!
Thought Salulu.
Easier to pick off!
That was certainly true. Then Ganondorf created a giant red choo-choo. They'd never seen one before, and they hacked helplessly at the pink goo. Then Mirong had an idea. He hacked through the disgusting gunge and reached the heart. He equipped the Bigoron's sword and slashed away at it. The choo-choo exploded. Disgusting! Then Ganondorf became Ganon and morphed with Malon.
What on Hyrule?
It sent radioactive Lon milk at them. The battle was awful. Their weapons did nothing! Then Salulu realized what she had to do. She had taken the golden gauntlets. So she put them on, grabbed a chunk of the ranch wall, said a prayer to bless it, and wham! Now! Boomed Mirong, and the sages sealed the two in the evil realm with a big explosion. It was beautiful. So Lulu smiled weakly. The people who died couldn't be raised, but all the damage was repaired. The sages and Lonk materialized. Mirong was bent over Salulu's body. She wasn't breathing. Slowly, with tears in his eyes, he bent down and kissed her lips. A great hole in the sky appeared and sent down a red light, a blue one and a green one. It filled Mirong, who passed some onto Salulu, raising her. They hugged, and a fortnight later, they married and had twins, Sirong and Talulu. One night, Mirong was gazing at the stars, and he sighed. I guess even love has its problems. The end.